bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever watching this transmission. 'Tis I, Mike Martins. Welcome to a bunch of crap in the news, and we're going to look over some crap that's going on, or what are they trying to feed us or tell us, or what is really going on, and there's a lot going on. Guys, if you don't mind, don't forget to set your reminders for Commonwealth for Common Folks this Wednesday with Live with Collins, and don't forget to set your reminders for the hit show Mike in the Night this Saturday. Looking forward to seeing you guys there, and looking forward for your call-ins. All right, guys, send your tips on Instagram, Mike Martins Official. So if you get some time, add me on Instagram, or send me stuff on Instagram, and I'll see if it's viable to read on the show. All right, here it is. Kill the Bill protests in Bristol. This was sent to me from Southwest England. Huge crowds march through city centre. What are they marching for? Are they marching for lockdowns? No, they're not. They're marching for something else. And drivers were hooting their horns. I love how in England they say honking horns. They say hooting their horns, seemingly in support of the protesters. Crowds have been chanting, and the music has been playing during the proceeds as police watched on the immobile from the sidelines. The government's controversial police and crime bill would give police the Home Secretary increased powers to stop protests. So they want us to, they have a bill here. The bill also makes a special new law to protect monuments and statues in the wake of toppling of the statue of Edward Colston, with the crime of damaging them punishable by up to 10 years in prison. You can't do that in America. You can't make that punishable, because I think that would be considered racism in America if you arrest somebody for toppling statues. So this is what's happening. England is pushing full stop, full hard push. England is pushing full stop for basically getting stopping protesting, stopping the freedom of assembly, and stopping basically the freedom of speech and the freedom of gatherings and the freedom of so here's another article coming from there. This was live, and police have launched a major manhunt for suspects after protest against the police and crime bill on Sunday in Bristol turned out violent night of riots. So people are basically losing control across, like the whole across Europe is doing this, and the media here in the West has been doing a very good job hiding it. They've been doing it. So there it is right there. They've been torching vehicles and flipping over cars, and tons of stuff has been. Here it is right here. So this is the from Bristol Live here. They're sending us this. I wonder if there's a lot of audio in this. I don't know. This thing's not even playing. So there it is right there. Police say 500 people involved in criminality during last night's events. So anybody that shows up to this will get photographed and actually be branded as criminals. Like, so if you show up to this, if you actually show up to this event, they'll try to get your pictures. I don't know what they're going to do with the masks. I don't know how they could identify people now that are wearing masks. I don't know how that's going to work. But to be very frank with you, anybody that shows up, they've been actually going out on the streets and photographing people's license plates and putting them in a registry. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. They're going to stop people from holding assembly. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to just start passing laws and putting things into play that's basically going to destroy England. And England's turning into I know England's having a lot of problems because they're pushing for mail-in ballots. You guys saw what happened with mail-in ballots in the States. All right, pro-Palestine activist stands trial after leading boycott against Israeli pharmaceutical company. Okay, so if something happens or something big happens and you're going to go ahead and boycott a company, and you create a group and you start, getting people to follow you and start boycotting pharmaceutical, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pharmaceutical. Any company nowadays, now you'll stand trial. So this is what's happening right now, right here. And reverb fart. Right there. There you go. Pro-Palestinian activist stands trial after leading boycott against Israeli pharmaceutical company. So back in the day, before not mainstream media, back in the day before Facebook and all that stuff, and Instagram and social media, all that stuff, the companies would laugh at you. Good luck with your thing. Go picket your sign outside our company. Go ahead. People will just drive by and ignore you. Now, with social media, you could organize a group to boycott anything and get 100 of your friends following and 100 of their friends following, and it could be a big mess. Now, they'll just you're just gonna have to stand trial now. If you have a problem with something, you have a problem with something somebody does to you, and you want to boycott something, and they don't like it, guess what? You're standing trial. That's just how it works. So French activist Olivia Zemmour has gone on trial in Lyon after making an online appeal for 2016 for a boycott of the Israeli pharmaceutical giant company. She appeared in court on March 16 over publishing a call for... so it goes into a lot of controversial stuff here. So basically, anybody that goes in and actually wants to shut something down or stand your ground, guess what? That's what you get right there. That's what you get right there for doing so. So it's almost like the second you start to win, let's say you start winning against the banks. Let's say you start voting with your dollars. Let's say you start winning with... They're always going to find a way to put somebody accountable for it, even though they shouldn't be accountable, right? So that's how it works. So here it is. Look at this one. Some good news for people living in the UK. The UK plans to increase nuclear stockpile in another U-turn. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson unveiled the UK's plan to expand its nuclear warhead stockpile by at least 40%. What? On March 16, the British government released a long-awaited review of the defense, security, and foreign policy, a key piece of documents centered on strengthening of the UK nuclear deterrent. But the problem is the UK, like, with the amount of money that's being dropped or laundered through that country, like, do the British people even, like, is it part, I mean, is it an autonomous region of another country? Like, how does this work? I wouldn't want to expand any country's nuclear armament right now, not knowing who is running the country, if they're legally voted in, if they're allowed to be in, if it's, yeah. Anyways, here you go, all man.
You're talking about all man.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's move on. The Cancer Act, 1939. I never knew this existed, but the Cancer Act. Here you go. That's a reverb fart. The Cancer Act, 1939, is an act of Parliament of the United Kingdom passed in 1939. So to make further provision from the treatment of cancer, to authorize the Minister of Health to lend money to the National Radium Trust, and to prohibit certain advertisements relating to cancer, and for a purpose connected with the matters aforesaid. So basically, let me just get into what this means. So we're going to go back here. So I'm going to tell you what this means. You can look it up. It's called the Cancer Act 1939. It basically means that if you find a cure for cancer, you're not allowed to. It needs to be a big pharma company that finds the cure. Let's say I spend the rest of my life looking for a cure for cancer, and I find it. One, I'm going to end up dead if I do. For sure, they'll kill me. And that's it. It's over, and no one knows anything of anything. And two, what will happen is you're not allowed. So basically, the Cancer Act 1939, I give it a fart with reverb. So if anyone finds the cure, you're not allowed to find the cure for cancer. I did not know that. Cancer Act 1939, look it up. Okay, so I got some good news. Biden administration awards ICE $86 million contract to secure hotel rooms for illegal families. Where is this happening? Where is this happening?
You're talking about all men.
Oh, you're talking about all men. Where is this happening? In Canada. See, all the English-speaking countries are following the same patterns. That's why you should tune into when I talk about housing. Amerifornia is coming. No one even looks at what the hell I'm talking about in America. There's some people that do, but you better wake up real quick in a heartbeat if you're living in America. Go look up my Amerifornia videos if you want to know what the heck's going to happen in your country in the next 5 years. So here it is. Biden administration awards ICE $86 million contract to secure hotel rooms for illegal families. And yes, that's taxpayers' money. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is securing hotel rooms to handle the growing influx of illegal families crossing into the United States. Migrant says he came to the U.S. border because Biden was elected, would not have tried to cross under Trump. So there you go. Amerifornia is on its way. Hope everybody's okay with that. So White House press release says Biden 100% fine after viral triple fall, blames Air Force One's tricky stairs.
You're talking about all men.
So there it is. You saw the video. It was So there it is. I guess The View. If you want to find out what really happened here, watch The View or CNN. They'll tell you what happened. They'll give you a better insight on why this is happening. And I think that's Trump's fault. They're going to tell you it's Trump's fault. They're always going to blame it. 100 years from now, guess whose fault it's going to be? Guess whose fart it's going to be? Donald Trump's fault. 100 years from now. So, remember we were talking on Mike in the Night last Saturday? Blow up at China-U.S. summit may mark a new era of Chinese power. So, it looks like a transfer of power that China now is going to be running things now, or going to be the superpower. And not only that, the good news is China is working towards handling and managing and running the COVID passports, and China is working on rolling out the 5G system, which they have been for the last 8 years, but they're also going to be working towards the social credit score. China's looking to actually run the whole world's social credit score to find out who's a good citizen, who isn't, who's allowed to travel. China's looking at more of a bigger reach into other countries. Canada's already an autonomous region of China. Australia is already an autonomous region of China. The UK, most of the UK is an autonomous region of China. Jamaica is an autonomous. So we're going to figure out what's going to happen with us, what they're going to do with us. So what they're pushing towards and with all their initiatives and what they're trying to accomplish. So there's a lot in the works right now. So right there. Yeah. So let's move on. IBM partners, I think this is old news, with Moderna for the COVID reset. So IBM is partnering. If you haven't seen this video, it's called The Shocking Truth About Health Passports. You want to watch this, look it up. Please watch it. And this is coming out of Israel. Netanyahu's political trickery may secure election victory, but to the detriment of Israeli democracy. So there it is right there. There's been a ton of anti-Netanyahu protests. So this is how it's going to work from now on. You're going to see the entire country on the street against him, but he's still going to win. And Israelis gather for massive anti-Netanyahu protest days before election as PM faces corruption scandal. So that's what's happening. As Israel plans to evict up to 550 Palestinians from East Jerusalem, Biden admin remains silent. Of course it's going to remain silent. UAE cancels planned summit with Israel and Arab states over Netanyahu electro-engineering concerns. So there it is right there, guys. This is what they're broadcasting and what they're trying to tell us. So, I mean, this is terrible. Reverb. Terrible. China will advance strategic partnership with Russia at deeper levels. See, China's running out of allies. China is in a lot of trouble. Canada loves China, but the people in Canada, it's a different story, right? Like, there's a lot of places like that love certain, like, you know, but the people in the country have a different view, right, on it. So when they say, oh, Canada, Australia loves China, but there's a different view from the people living in Australia. The elected, selected, whatever how these elections work nowadays, no one even knows. Those people are basically the ones that are speaking for. Like when you watch the news and it says, a majority of Americans believe lockdowns are good, or a majority of Canadians believe that they love Justin Trudeau, but who are they asking? Who's like, that's the problem. So China is working hard to create an alliance, a deep level partnership with Russia, and that's what's happening. Russia, China need to move away from the dollar to reduce risks as U.S. sanctions. So there it is, right there. We'll see what happens. I'm telling you, I've been investing in oil and energy a lot lately. So there it is. Black Lives Matter leader in Greater Atlanta indicted for spending donations on a house, guns, and prostitutes. No comments to that. Heavy rains in Australia's east bring worst floods in 50 years. So Australia's in a bit of trouble right now with their floods. And, well, look at that house. Well, there goes $2 million. Oops. That sucks. So that's what's happening in Australia. And border frenzy. Millions of illegal immigrants set to get $4.38 billion in Biden COVID cash. So there it is. Christmas is coming early to millions of illegal immigrants from the COVID stimulus check, up to $1,400 according to new analysis. So people are applying and they're getting, and there's asylum applications, TPS recipients, DACA recipients, illegal immigration with stolen identities, 700,000 people. Total illegal population who can receive stimulus money, 2.6 million. Wow. This is nuts. I mean, Trump's been out of office for a few months. America's like, what the heck is going on? Okay, so this one is already circulating and it's picking up steam in Canada. Biden admin considers flying immigrants to processing facilities in Canadian border. And people in China are in no hurry to take the COVID vaccine. There it is right there. Beijing and China. The problem doesn't seem to be a shortage of vaccine. Rather, with the COVID outbreak largely under control at home, not enough people want to get the shot. Chinese health officials appealed to the public Sunday to get inoculated. They also said that the vaccination, not a guarantee against the infection. They will still require anyone arriving to China to quarantine for 14 days, even if they have received a vaccine. So what's the point of it? And I'm not going to go into that right now, but I'll give it a couple of farts there. All right. And Trump launching social media platform, senior advisor says. So yeah, I mean, there's nowhere for anywhere to go. But the problem is, once you sign up for this social media platform, so you could just see what's going on, really, or what people's points of views are, you're branded as a terrorist. You're branded as a bad guy. You're branded as a racist. You're branded as anti-American. You're branded as anything they could call you under the bus. But names will never hurt us. Like, a lot of people's like, oh, I don't care what people think. You know what I'm saying? Nearly every India-Toronto flight this month had COVID positive passengers. That's coming from the Toronto Sun. 1/3 of international flights landing at YYZ with COVID positive, so it's coming from New Delhi. So there it is from India. Not America. Very hard for Americans to fly into Canada. And China blacklists 10 EU officials and academics after bloc hits Beijing with sanctions over alleged abuse over the Uyghur Muslims. So that's what's happening. You guys know what's happening there in the northwest of China. It's an autonomous region of China. So China has many autonomous regions under its regime. It's Tibet, all kinds of places that it took over after World War II. And it took over like a very heavily Muslim-populated province or state. And yeah, they're just mistreating the people there. And what do you think is going to happen to other autonomous regions of China, like Canada, Australia, and New Zealand? I don't have no idea what's going to happen, to be honest with you guys. I don't know what's going to happen to us anymore. I really don't know what to tell you anymore. Wet fart. Yeah. Anyways, let's wrap it up with Florida Man. Florida Man. I'm going to have to full screen this because you won't believe it. Watch Florida Man casually hand the police his grandfather's severed ears from his pockets. There is Florida Man. Inexplicably, he is not handcuffed. Revolting body camera footage captured the moment of a suspect casually presented police with his grandfather's severed ears. I'm not even going to go in. There's the video there. I'm not even going to go into that. Not even going to go into that. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to set your reminders for upcoming shows. Mike in the Night this Saturday is going to be another hit. We've been a hit every single Saturday night.
You're talking about all men. The man.
Remember, guys, take care, and if you can't take care, please stay safe. I have spoken.